The jungle was too quiet. Ethan moved slowly between the tall, alien trees. His boots sank into soft purple soil, and strange blue fog floated near the ground. On this planet, silence was never a good sign. Birds screamed all the time. Insects never stopped buzzing. But now nothing. Ethan stopped walking. He looked at the ground. The footprints were huge. Each step was deeper than his knee, wider than his chest. Whatever made them was not an animal he knew. Ethan touched his helmet and activated his scanner. The screen blinked red. Unknown life form. Massive size. High energy signature. Ethan swallowed. He was a scout for the human colony. His job was simple. Find dangers before they reach the base. The colony was small, weak, and far from Earth. If something big attacked, people would die. The ground shook again. Trees moved. Something was coming. Ethan quickly hid behind a fallen log and pulled a small device from his belt. It was a human trap, strong enough to stop tanks. Built for monsters. He whispered to himself, "Please be a beast." The sound grew louder. Heavy steps. Slow, careful. Then the trees opened. Ethan froze. It was not a beast. A giant woman stepped into the open space. She was at least 4 times taller than any human. Her skin was light gray, marked with glowing green lines like living veins. Long dark hair flowed down her back. She wore simple armor made of wood and stone. Her face was not angry. She looked tired. There was blood on her arm. Ethan's hands shook. This was not what command prepared him for. The giant woman knelt near a tree and touched its broken trunk. Her fingers moved gently, almost sadly. The glowing lines on her skin grew brighter. Ethan's scanner beeped softly. Life form status, intelligent. High bioenergy, intelligent. Ethan's heart raced. Colony rules were clear. Unknown intelligent threat. Capture or eliminate. The ground shook again, closer now. Ethan realized something else was moving in the jungle. Smaller shapes. Fast ones. The giant woman stood up quickly. She looked around, alert. She was not hunting humans. She was guarding something. Ethan's mind screamed at him to stop, to wait, to think. But fear was faster. If she reached the colony, if command blamed him, he pressed the button. Blue light exploded from the ground. Energy chains shot upward, wrapping around the giant woman's legs and arms. The ground hardened into glowing metal. The trap locked shut with a loud crack. The giant woman fell to one knee. She did not scream. She looked down at the glowing chains, then slowly lifted her head. Her eyes met Ethan's. They were not filled with rage. They were filled with fear. Ethan stood up without thinking. His weapon was raised, but his finger was not on the trigger. "I'm sorry," he whispered, though he did not know why. The jungle changed. The fog thickened. The trees creaked like they were breathing. Distant roars echoed through the air. The giant woman spoke. Her voice was deep, calm, and heavy with pain. "You should not have done that, human." Ethan's blood turned cold. She spoke his language. "How do you know our words?" he asked, his voice shaking. The giant woman looked past him toward the distant lights of the human colony. "Because you're not the first humans to come here," she said. Ethan's scanner alarm went wild. Multiple life forms approaching. Hostile movement detected. The ground began to shake again, stronger this time. Ethan took a step back. "What are you?" he asked. The giant woman closed her eyes for a moment. "I'm a guardian," she said. "And now, I am trapped." She opened her eyes and looked at Ethan one last time. "If I die here," she said slowly, "your people will not see another sunrise." The jungle roared, and Ethan realized he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. The jungle did not attack. That was the first strange thing Ethan noticed. The ground still shook. The fog stayed thick. Shadows moved between the trees. But nothing rushed forward. Nothing struck. It was like the jungle was waiting. Ethan stood frozen in front of the glowing energy cage. Inside it, the giant woman remained on one knee. The blue chains burned softly around her arms and legs. Her breathing was slow, controlled, but the wound on her arm glowed darker now. "You understand me," Ethan said again, his voice low. "Ow!" The giant woman looked at him carefully. Her eyes were large and calm, but old. much older than any human eyes Ethan had ever seen. We listened, she said. Ethan frowned. Listen to what? To your signals. Your probes. Your machines, she replied. Humans are loud, even when they try to be quiet. Ethan felt a tight knot in his chest. The scanner on his wrist beeped again. Warning. Hostile life signs increasing. Distance closing. He turned in a slow circle. Shapes moved behind the trees. Long shadows. Many of them. What are they? He asked. The jungle's defenders, the giant woman said. They do not like cages. Ethan looked back at her. Then tell them to stop. She shook her head slowly. I cannot. Not while bound. Ethan swallowed hard. He had trained for alien animals. For hostile machines. For unknown dangers. He had not trained for guilt. Why were you near our colony? He asked. To protect it, she answered. Ethan laughed nervously. That makes no sense. Your colony is cutting too deep, she said. The jungle feels pain. When it feels pain, it reacts. Ethan thought of the drills. The mining lasers. The trees burned to clear space. Command said the planet was empty. They were wrong. You could have talked to us, Ethan said. The giant woman looked away. We tried. You did not hear us. The jungle roared again, closer this time. Ethan's wrist screen flashed red. Emergency signal from Colony Command. Return immediately. He ignored it. What happens now? He asked. The giant woman looked at him again. Now, she said, you decide what kind of human you are. Ethan stared at her. What does that mean? Your kind is known, she said slowly. Across many stars. Ethan's heart skipped. Known how? She paused, as if choosing her words carefully. You are the ones who break things, she said. And then sometimes you fix them. The words hit Ethan harder than any weapon. You captured me out of fear, she continued. Fear is not evil. It is simple. What matters is what you do next. The ground shook violently. A massive shape moved between the trees. Something with too many legs. Too many eyes. Ethan backed away from the cage. If I free you, he said, will you attack us? No, she answered immediately. Can you stop them? He asked, pointing to the jungle. Yes, she said, if I am free and alive. Ethan's comm device crackled. Scout Ethan, respond, a voice shouted. We see movement on the outer sensors. What did you find? Ethan looked at the giant woman. She met his eyes. No anger, no lies, only warning. If you kill me, she said softly, the jungle will remember humans as enemies. Forever. The shadows moved closer. The ground cracked. Ethan's hand hovered over the control device that powered the trap. Command was shouting in his ear. Protocol demanded obedience. But something deeper pulled at him now. A quiet truth. He had captured a guardian, and the jungle was holding its breath. Ethan took a slow breath. I'm listening, he said. The jungle paused, and the giant woman began to speak. The giant woman began to speak. Her voice was calm, but the jungle seemed to listen to every word. The fog slowed. The distant roars became quiet, like beasts waiting for a signal. My name is Asha, she said. I am a guardian of this world. Ethan stood still, his hand away from his weapon now. Guardian of what? The jungle, Asha replied, and of balance. She lifted her injured arm slightly. Green light flowed from her skin into the ground. The soil pulsed in response, like a living heart. This planet is alive, she said. Not like humans, not like animals, but alive. Ethan shook his head. That's not possible. Asha looked at him. Your own planet is alive too. You simply forgot how to listen. The words felt heavy. A loud crack echoed nearby. One of the massive trees bent toward them, its roots lifting from the ground. Creatures with sharp limbs crawled along its trunk, watching Ethan with glowing eyes. They're not monsters, Asha said. They are antibodies. Ethan frowned. Against us. Against damage, she corrected. Against pain. Ethan remembered the mining zones, the burn land, the screams of trees as lasers cut through them. When your machines dig, Asha continued, the planet feels it. When the pain grows too great, it defends itself. Ethan's scanner beeped again. Colony barrier under pressure. Outer drones destroyed. They're attacking the colony, Ethan said. No, Asari played softly. They are reacting. Ethan clenched his fists. Then stop them. I cannot, she said. Not while trapped. And not while you keep hurting the jungle. Ethan turned away, breathing hard. His comm unit screamed with voices. Ethan, the wall is failing. We need orders. What did you find out there? He shut the channel off. For the first time in his life, Ethan chose silence over orders. How long has this been happening? He asked. Asha's eyes darkened. Long before humans arrived. Other species came. They tried to take. They tried to rule. What happened to them? Ethan asked. The jungle learned, Asha said. And they left. Or they died. Ethan swallowed. So humans are next, he said. Asha looked at him carefully. Not yet. Why not? He asked. Because humans hesitate, she replied. You ask questions after mistakes. That is rare. The ground trembled again. A massive shape emerged from the fog. A creature like a living tower of vines and stone. It stopped when it saw Asha trapped. It let out a low, painful sound. That one is a warden, Asha said. It will not attack while I live. Ethan stared at the creature. And if you die? Asha met his eyes. Then nothing will stop them. A loud explosion echoed from the direction of the colony. The sky flashed red. Ethan felt something break inside him. This is my fault, he said. Yes, Asha answered. And that is why it can still be fixed. Ethan looked at the control device again. One press would release her. One press would break every rule he had followed. If he freed her and Command found out, he would be punished. Maybe worse. If he didn't, people would die. What do humans do when rules fail? Asha asked. Ethan looked up. They make new ones, he said. Asha nodded. Suddenly, the jungle screamed. Not in anger. In pain. Ethan's scanner showed a new warning. High-energy strike detected. Colony using orbital weapons. They're bombing the jungle, Ethan whispered. Asha's eyes widened. Then time is gone. The ground split open between them. Vines wrapped around the cage, pulling it tighter. The warden creature raised its massive arms. Ethan realized the truth. This was no battle of strength. This was a test, and humanity was about to fail it. Ethan grabbed the control device. His finger hovered over the release. The jungle waited. The sky burned. A bright line of fire cut through the clouds and slammed into the jungle far away. The ground shook so hard that Ethan fell to one knee. Trees screamed as flames spread across the leaves. Smoke rose into the air like a dark warning. They used orbital weapons. Ethan said, his voice breaking. Asha closed her eyes. The jungle will not forgive this, she said. Not easily. The warden creature roared. Its body glowed with green and red light. Vines ripped out of the ground and wrapped around the energy cage, pulling tighter and tighter. Ethan looked at the control device in his hand. One press. That was all it took. His comm unit came back to life without warning. Ethan, respond now. Command shouted. We see a massive life form near you. Kill it or fall back immediately. Ethan looked at Asha. Her face showed pain, but also strength. She did not beg. She did not threaten. She only waited. If I free you, Ethan said, can you stop this? Asha opened her eyes. I can try, but some damage cannot be undone. Another explosion hit the jungle. Closer this time. The warden creature raised its arms, ready to strike the cage. Ethan's heart raced. He thought of the colony. Families. Children who trusted the walls to protect them. He thought of Earth and all the mistakes humans had made there. And he thought of something else. Asha had listened to him. No alien ever had. Ethan pressed the button. The blue light vanished. The energy chains shattered like glass. Asha fell forward, catching herself on one hand. The ground pulsed under her touch. A wave of green light spread out in all directions. The jungle stopped moving. The warden creature froze. Slowly, carefully, Asha stood up. She turned toward the colony and raised both hands. Stop, she said. The jungle listened. Vines loosened. Creatures stepped back into the fog. The shaking ground became still. Ethan let out a breath he did not know he was holding. Then Asha collapsed. Ethan ran toward her without thinking. Her body hit the ground hard. The glowing lines on her skin flickered and dimmed. Asha, Ethan shouted. She was breathing, but barely. The jungle reacted instantly. Vines rushed forward, not to attack Ethan, but to lift her gently. Roots formed a soft bed beneath her. Ethan's scanner beeped. Guardian life, signs critical. The comm unit screamed again. Ethan, what did you do? Command yelled. The jungle stopped attacking. Report now. Ethan looked at Asha's weak form. She saved us, he said quietly. That thing is manipulating you, Command replied. Get back here now. Ethan stood up. For the first time, he did not feel small. No, he said. Silence filled the channel. You will be charged with treason, Command warned. Ethan looked at the burning jungle. So be it, he said, and cut the signal. He turned back to Asha. Stay with me, he whispered. He opened his medical kit. Human tools, human medicine, made for human bodies. He did not know if it would work, but humans had always survived by trying. He treated her wound carefully. The green glow slowly returned. The jungle seemed to lean closer, watching every move. Minutes passed, then hours. Finally, Asha's eyes opened. You stayed, she said weakly. Ethan nodded. Someone had to. Asha looked toward the colony lights. Your people fear what they do not understand. So do yours, Ethan replied. Asha gave a faint smile. Then perhaps, she said, we are not so different. The jungle breathed again. But far above, human ships were already turning their weapons back on. And Ethan knew the hardest part was still coming. The ships above the planet slowed. Their weapons stayed ready, but they did not fire. In the jungle, Ethan sat beside Asha, watching the green light slowly return to her skin. The ground beneath them felt warm now, alive but calm. You should have left, Asha said softly. Ethan shook his head. Humans leave too often. That's how we lose things. Asha studied him. One human cannot change a species. Maybe not, Ethan replied. But one human can start something. The jungle shifted gently. Vines moved away, opening a clear path toward the colony. The fog thinned, and sunlight reached the ground for the first time since morning. Ethan's comm unit blinked again. He turned it on. Scout Ethan, a new voice said. Older, calmer. This is Colony Council. Ethan stayed quiet. We see the jungle has stopped attacking, the voice continued. Explain. Ethan stood. The planet is alive, he said. And we heard it. Asha stopped the defense. Not by force, but because she guards this world. Silence filled the channel. Then another voice spoke. You disobeyed orders. Yes, Ethan answered. You freed an unknown life form. Yes. You risked the colony. Ethan looked at Asha, then at the peaceful jungle. I saved it, he said. Minutes passed. Then the council spoke again. Our scans confirm what you said. The planet reacts to damage. Continued attacks will destroy us. Ethan closed his eyes. What do you want us to do? The voice asked. Ethan looked at Asha. She stood slowly, supported by living vines. She raised her voice, letting it carry through the jungle and into human receivers. Stop digging, she said. Stop burning. Listen, and this world will protect you. The council hesitated. Then came the words Ethan never expected. Orbital weapons powering down, the voice said. Mining operations paused. Ethan felt his knees weaken with relief. Asha turned toward the sky. She raised her hands again. A wave of green light spread across the jungle, faster and farther than before. The jungle accepted the decision. In the days that followed, everything changed. Human machines were redesigned. Gentle tools replaced violent ones. Paths were grown, not cut. Energy was taken from the planet without pain. Asha became the bridge between two worlds. She taught humans how to listen. Humans taught her how to heal faster, using their medicine and knowledge. Other guardians came out hiding. They watched from a distance, curious, not afraid. One night, Asha stood at the edge of the colony, looking at the stars. Others will hear of this, she said. Who? Ethan asked. Other species, she replied. They watch humans closely. Many fear you. Ethan nodded. That's fair. Asha looked at him. But now they will also hear this story. She paused. That when humans made a mistake, she said, they stopped. They listened. And they changed. Far away, signals moved across space. Stories traveled faster than ships. Across the galaxy, a new name began to spread. Humans. Not as conquerors, not as destroyers, but as the ones who listened. Ethan never returned to command. He did not need to. He stayed as a watcher, a speaker, a bridge. A simple human who had made a choice when it mattered. And the jungle grew. Stronger, safer, alive. Humanity did not win that day with weapons. They won with something far more rare. The courage to admit they were wrong.